What's going on? How y'all doing? So I got asked an interesting question. I haven't really seen it asked anywhere else. I could be wrong, and I know that there's people who've done it, but I haven't really seen it advertised. Anthony Edwards. If Ant Edwards leads the Timberwolves to the finals and wins, is he a greater player than Kevin Garnett? Is he the greatest Minnesota Timberwolves player? That's an interesting question because remember Kevin Garnett. You remember if it wasn't for Tim Duncan and maybe some people say Dirk Nowitzki, some say Karl Malone, where would Garnett be and Charles Barkley? Because Garnett was that he was that dude stat wise for the power forward position. He was kind of like a Peyton Manning type. His regular season, his numbers were crazy, and kid coming out, persona, what have you. His postseason was not that memorable. Yeah, they got to Western Conference Finals before he went to Boston and won with Paul Pierce and all that. But in his Minnesota heyday, remember back in the day when I need help, really meant I needed help? Because Troy Hudson on one of them series was his best player. He had Latrell Sprewell, but Spree was a little bit older at the time. Didn't catch him in that Golden State choke you out era. But anyway, Spree was bad in the 90s. He was good with the Knicks. When he got to Minnesota, he still had good, but he wasn't quite that Spree. He still had moments, but he wasn't quite that Spree. That Spree from Golden State, New York era does the guy that I remember in Slam Magazine that Allen Iverson said I wanted his game, not Jordan's game. For those who go back on Slam Magazine and for those who remember, those were his quotes. I want his game. Because Latrell was that dude for a moment. But that's another story, another video. We're just sticking on this subject here. Kevin Garnett fell out with Stephon Marbury. He had Tom Gugliotta. Had an interesting squad. The late Flip Sanders was his coach. But of course, those bullies, that dominance of Shaq, and then with Kobe coming on and Phil Jackson, they couldn't get by them Lakers. And no one took the Timberwolves as a serious threat. That's why when I hear LeBron James say that Kevin Garnett was the best player in the NBA, I said, well, maybe for you, if you want to say that, but he was not better than Shaq. He was not better than Tim Duncan. And then when Kobe came to his powers, he wasn't better than him. But he was top 5, I'll give you that. But used to be best player, best team. You go equals championship run. That's what I was told. I never felt that with him. Actually, the truth is I kind of blamed him when the Lakers beat the Timberwolves in 04. I kind of blamed him because Minnesota felt like an air conditioner. It was so anticlimactic after battling the Spurs, how the Lakers went through them because it wasn't much of a fight. And I never saw KG as that dude. He barks a lot. He gives you that DMX wow. But as far as what he was, but he was a great talent, a great player. Now, we get to Anthony Edwards, who's beating veterans and taking names, going through his battles. Now he's in his second straight Western Conference Finals. If he goes through, and you know the NBA wants him to be the face of the NBA, they want that bad. They want that bad. They want that badly. Kind of like how they wanted Andrew Luck to be the face of the NFL quarterback. That's another story, another video. But if he does, and he wins it all, because we've been talking about Jalen Brunson being considered the greatest Knick, would this make Ant Edwards the greatest Minnesota Timberwolves? I think that's a legit question. He young, and if he stays healthy and motivated, he keeps getting better, and they keep upsizing, and they can find the right balance, and they get through and they win, then the only thing might be a league MVP. But if he goes to the finals and wins it all, what would you say? Because he do something that Kevin Garnett never did. He never got them to the finals in Minnesota. And this cat is just as Harold. He's charismatic. He's got personality. So what would that do? Would that make him the greatest Minnesota Timberwolves player? Because you got to start thinking where he ranks now. His success is not going to end anytime soon. And you just know that if he gets rolling, inevitable to how he compares to KG. So I'm just putting it out there right now. If he wins it all, will he be considered the greatest Minnesota Timberwolves player? Or does he have to do more than that? And that goes back to how much, as great as Kevin Garnett was with Minnesota and when he went on to Boston and won, that's an interesting debating question right there. Will you come down with it? What you think? That's all. So it's just a simple yes or no. And do you think he's a top 5 Timberwolves as we speak right now? Think about their history. It ain't that long. It ain't that deep. It's like a Jerry Springer final deep thought. It ain't that deep. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.